Hey everybody, what's up? How's it going today? So today we're talking about a little Netflix movie called Alles Ist Gut, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing that funky somehow, so I apologize. But as some of you can tell, it's clearly a German film, and it translates to either all is good or all is well. And you know, I really wish I could say the same thing about how I feel about this movie. And it's frustrating because it's one of those movies where it's like, I can tell somewhere in there had to be a good movie in there somewhere. And it's even worse because the movie tries to tackle like a really harsh, serious subject matter, but it's like, maybe there was something I just didn't see or that I missed, but from what I saw, I can tell you I was not a fan of this movie. The basic plot of the movie, it's about a German woman who's maybe in her late 20s, maybe early 30s, somewhere around there, and she's with her boyfriend and they do stuff. But then she goes to some type of reunion party. I'm not exactly sure what kind it is, but she stumbles across like old coworkers, old friends, what have you. But they're drinking and partying, and at some point the girl ends up with her old boss's brother-in-law, at which point, unfortunately, she gets sexually assaulted, and then from that point on, the movie's about her coping mechanisms, or her lack of coping mechanisms, I should say. And the reason why I said I thought there was a good movie in there somewhere is because every scene in the movie, I felt what they were going for. Like, if the scene is tense or uncomfortable, like the movie made you feel tense and uncomfortable, like, for example, during the assault scene, and she encounters that guy several times throughout the movie, and the tone that they were trying to convey in each scene is, I felt the tone that they were trying to go for. But the reasoning why some, like, characters do what they do, and some of the scenes that exist in the movie, I'm at a loss for some of those things. I'm not even totally sure about what her and her boyfriend actually do. Like, it seems like they're either into like flipping houses or real estate, or maybe they just fix up houses. I'm not entirely sure. The movie doesn't explain that. And they illustrate to you many times that the young lady who is the victim, she clearly has trouble talking about it, which is understandable because that's a really traumatic thing to go through. But she's given time and time again by literally everybody around her to talk about it, and she just refuses to talk about it, including the guy that committed the crime against her. Like, he confronts her several times and says, hey, what I did was messed up. I'm really sorry, and I don't know how to express that. If there's anything I can do, if you want me to, like, not be anywhere near you or make sure that our paths never cross again. And the movie just basically shows you over and over again that she doesn't want to talk about it, but it doesn't show you why, and there's no rhyme or reason to exactly why that is. It was evident that she was a self-destructive person, but again, there's no impetus as to why, and that just left me to, like, not really care as much about the story. Like, I feel bad for the character, but she's having a real hard time keeping me on her side. It's almost like the movie was kind of victim-shaming her, which is a really weird kind of way to make a movie. And there's also, like, little side stories that are really just not that important, and you don't really care about them that much. And the main girl and her boyfriend confront this guy at some point in the movie, which I don't know if it's the person that they brought up in the beginning of the movie, but really the only thing that you saw in that scene was that the boyfriend had a bit of a temper, and you kind of already were clued in on that earlier in the movie, and that the girl is really trying to quell things and, like, keep everything, like, from going to a head. And that was just a continuation of both those characters, so it just seemed redundant, and the movie's just full of, like, little things like that. The ending, it was just kind of, it was weird to me. Like, it just kind of, there was no climax or third act or, like, resolution or attempt at resolution. Like, there was nothing really there. Something kind of significant happens, and then the movie just kind of ends randomly, and it just didn't sit right with me. I don't understand why. Either way, I don't want to watch this movie again. Because it's bad enough that there's already a rape scene in the movie, and it's like, it just didn't feel warranted that you should make an entire movie about it. Whereas with some movies, like, say, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, there was a very vicious sexual scene in that movie. But the reason why that was in that particular movie was to show you the resolve of the main character. It shows that she's, like, a vengeful person, so there was, like, a purpose there. Whereas with this movie, it just felt, like, empty, without purpose, and it didn't seem realistic to me. And the graphic scene in question also didn't seem realistic because she didn't seem to want to fight it at all. It was very off-putting, and I did not enjoy this movie. However, I will give the movie some credit because tonally it did have some type of compass on where it wanted to go. But yeah, for a score overall out of 10, I think I'm gonna give it like a 4.1 maybe. This movie's not very fun. It's incredibly depressing, and in my opinion, it didn't warrant having a very graphic sexual scene in it because there wasn't enough character building around it. It's just this really sad downward spiral that you just really hope never happens to anybody in real life. But anyway, guys, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Have you seen this movie? Have you even heard of it? Hop in the comments, let me know what's up. And if you like this review, as always, give me a like, subscribe, all that other bullshit that makes the channel look good, and I will catch you guys later.